What's going on, Everly Sports? Back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the trade the New York Giants made as they trade for superstar edge rusher Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers. The Giants, in my opinion, they get an absolute steal here for Brian Burns. I love this trade for the New York Giants. Joe Schoen is cooking, and I think everyone now just their mood and energy flipped. Everyone was all fire Shane about an hour or two ago. And, I mean, now the Giants have just paired up Brian Burns to go opposite of Kayvon Thibodeau on the edge with Dexter Lawrence in between them. This is a very scary defense. Look out as this Giants pass rush just, they might be the best pass rush in all of football, at least top three, in my opinion at this point. They have two real good edge rushers, and they have, in my opinion, the best defensive tackle, best defensive lineman in football right now in Dexter Lawrence. He's, a superstar. We have 3 stars on this line here now. And looking at this Giants deal here, looking at the trade here that the Giants made with the Panthers, of course, there was a lot of rumblings of this and rumors and smoke, but I mean, I kind of was being patient because, there's always this kind of smoke around, especially around the Giants in New York. And, a lot of people just said, oh, well, Joe Schoen and the Panthers GM are good buddies, and that could mean nothing in the business world. But ultimately, it got done, and I really loved what the Giants ended up doing with this deal. They waited to sign Burns long-term, who, of course, the Panthers just franchise tagged. The Giants have acquired star Brian Burns at last from the Carolina Panthers. The Giants sent a 2nd and a 5th rounder, and Burns is now the 2nd highest paid defensive end in the NFL. That's a 5-year deal worth $150 million max and an $87.5 million guarantee. It's big money for a big time player. I'm all for this sign and this sign and trade. I really, really like the move for the Giants. We traded the 39th pick in this year's draft as well as a 5th next year. I love the move. It's basically we're trading Leonard Williams for Brian Burns. Ultimately, that we got a 2nd and 5th for Leonard Williams, and we just traded that for Brian Burns. I love the move. I really do. It's a real smart move, and it's a lot of it is the contract is incentivized for Brian Burns, but this will make him and Kayvon better, them playing opposite of each other. But I really, really like the deal. I just think it makes a whole lot of sense for the Giants to bring in Brian Burns, who's a star, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a guy who has been really dependable as well in his career. He's missed just 3 games in his NFL career, so it makes a whole ton of sense. Now, a lot of Giants fans wanted the Giants to draft a wide receiver at 6 and then move up from 39 back into the back end of the first round and take a guy like Michael Penix. That makes it a lot tougher because now you'd have to move back from 47. It would obviously cost a lot more, so maybe kind of rule that out. But I don't think it matters. I think Brian Burns makes this defense a lot better, and I don't think people realize yet how big time, how big of a move this is. He's big time. He's 6'5", 250. Like I said, he's like Joe Schoen talks about, smart, tough, dependable. You can rely on him. He's only missed 3 games in his entire NFL career. Last season, let's take a look at his numbers. 8 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 2 passes defended. The year before that, he was sensational. He had 12.5 sacks. And in his 5-year career, he's really only started in 4 of those seasons, though. But looking at his career stats, 46 sacks in 5 seasons, as well as 2 fumble recoveries and 8 forced fumbles. He's been an absolute beast, and he's a guy that really is a playmaker, and he's going to make the Giants a lot better. And Joe Schoen's cooking. A lot of people were calling for his job right before the deal, and how could he let Saquon go to the Eagles? But Joe Schoen was painting the bigger picture. He's building this thing up in the trenches. On the defensive line and on the offensive line. He signed 2 offensive linemen. He's definitely got something up his sleeve. So I really am happy. I really like the Brian Burns deal. We don't really know yet the contract details in terms of how the money could be made, but ultimately it's a lot of guaranteed money, but it's worth it. Brian Burns is not a joke. He was on one of the worst teams. He was on the worst team in the NFL for the past God knows how many seasons, but he was a bright spot of their team. Not to mention, the Panthers turned down a year ago from the Rams 2 firsts and a second for Brian Burns. So that's the type of player caliber he is. You don't pay guys $150 million for no reason. He's going to be an absolute stud, and I couldn't be happier that he's in Giants blue. And Brian Burns, I'm sure, is real happy as well. To be playing with Kayvon and Dexter Lawrence on that line, it's going to be a pretty spectacular and sensational season. And this is going to be the mold for the Giants for years to come, as he's signed for 5 years. So really, really happy for the Giants and for Brian Burns. This is a real good move. It's a great move for a Pro Bowler and a guy who's going to make this contract worth its while. Makes a lot of sense. Big money for a big player. And that's all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the Giants trade for Brian Burns and sign him. I love the movie. You guys let me know all that good stuff down in the comment section as always. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys on the next video. And as always, let's go Giants.